Hi, folks. This is Rick Emmett of Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Hi, this is a best-selling author. I threw the best-selling in there. Best-selling author Dick Wybrow.
I'm Melanie from Second Shooter.
This is Jeff with Second Shooter.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Allen from Bridges of Blaze.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
Yo guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola amigos, this is Billy Sheehan.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi.
What's up everybody, it's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey guys, it's Leva Leone.
What's up guys, Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
This is Kathy from Music and More Records.
My name's Reggie and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
It's time once again for the Weekly Pour, the show that knows everything about absolutely nothing. Here are your hosts, TBT and Ace.
That is us. I am TBT. That guy's Ace. Welcome to the bi-weekly Weekly Pour podcast. So it's been a while. It's actually not been that much of a while. It's been a couple weeks. Here we are. Again, I'm TBT. That guy's Ace. If you're watching this, hopefully you're watching this on either YouTube or Facebook. If you're watching us somewhere else, that means we've been hacked and someone has stole our broadcast. If you're watching on the YouTubes, be sure to jump in and say something in the chat. It's already been going off for about the last 20 minutes because Natalie decided to be the first one in, and by being the first one in, she was here like 30 minutes ago, just to shove it into everybody's face. So nothing has changed in the world of Natalie.
No, she's trying to, she doesn't have to show that she likes us that much.
I know. I mean, it's
not
okay.
That much. But
it's
we're
all
glad
right.
she's here. We're glad to be here.
Yeah. You know what would help is if I turned it up and I could hear us. Because I couldn't hear anything.
Or me.
Yeah. I could hear you if you wear your damn microphone.
But
we
have a new microphone for me to use.
But
I thought that it would be charged coming out of the box.
Right, because why wouldn't it be?
A lot of things are. Some things come with batteries. When you buy them, they come with batteries.
They come with batteries, which means you have to put them in before they work.
Yeah, but why isn't this should be fully charged, ready to go?
It was a week ago when you got it.
It's been sitting. It's still ready. It might take a minute.
Well, it's like I said, you literally pulled it out of the box like 5 minutes ago.
I did.
I knew it.
All right, let's try it out.
I knew it.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
How are our sound levels, you guys out there? I know you guys are watching. Oh, a nice fuzzy.
Comes with a Russian windscreen.
What the? That looks like it's something that's been sitting in the corner of your room for like, a year, and you just cleaned it out.
Remember seeing these in broadcasting school? Type of windscreen that looked ridiculous.
Well, it's kind of like this that is on a desk mounted microphone.
Well, I have that. I opted for that.
Well,
because it gave you an option.
You know what the difference is?
What's that?
Mine works.
No kidding.
You were just called out in the chat for procrastinating.
Now wait a minute.
Well, I'm going to say hi to whoever's in the chat while you decide whether you're going to procrastinate or not.
I thought you and I were going to get together and test this shit out. Now, it wouldn't have mattered. Because it wouldn't have been ready.
Exactly. And I don't know your schedule.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Holy moly. Who's all in here? Natalie, of course, our moderator. If you're in there, please thank her for the horrible job she does. Mama TBT's in there. Shannon's in there. Sandra's in there. She's a hottie. I like her. Nat, here we go again. Nat McFook is in there. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that because, I think I just did. So if you're in the chat, say hi. If you're watching us on Facebook, which is the other place you can watch us, say hi. We'll get the comments no matter where you're at. And if it's good enough, we'll put it on screen and answer it if it's a question. If not, we'll just keep on going. There has been a ton of stuff going on.
Like what?
Both personally and in the world of music, which we'll get into it a little bit later. But usually it's called the Weekly Pour Podcast because, well, we're on here every daggone week. But
Weekly.
sometimes life gets in the way, and we just can't do it. And it happens, no big deal. I do want to tell you one thing though, other than the fact that my dog needs out of this room. The Garage Mahal now has Wi-Fi.
I thought it already did.
Oh no, it just had a sign. No, it didn't have Wi-Fi. It's a metal building, man. Nothing, kryptonite can't get through that thing.
Disregard me. I'm trying out new
oh boy.
lead.
You're gonna end up freezing and you're gonna get booted.
No, I'm charging this.
Oh, you're charging. I thought you were gonna hook it in. I was gonna say we're screwed because you're gonna end up being gone.
No, we're gonna try this out afterward.
Oh, afterward. Okay. You don't want to try it like in the middle of the show?
Well, maybe.
Okay.
Well, if it turns green, saying that it's charged, we may go with it.
Right. Because, I mean, everybody should be a part of this because, why not?
This grand experiment.
Yeah. That's going to be the next show is our experimentation. Nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you. Daughter got it for me. She went to the Queensryche concert.
Queensryche?
At the Mill. Queen. At the Mill in Terre Haute.
Terre Haute.
She had a weather-related experience there, similar to Sammy Hagar, but worse.
What night did she go?
Would have been Friday night.
So that was the same night as the Megadeth concert at the Ruoff, who was also once again delayed because of weather.
Was he also?
Yes,
okay.
It's a group of them. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's Dave Mustaine.
It's just Dave.
So they didn't start. I don't think they started the show till like 9. For Slaughter. Slaughter opened. And from what I can tell, they played a truncated set list. I was told they played like 5 songs.
Wow.
Instead of like 9, they played like 5. And then Great White was the second act. I haven't checked the set, but I believe they played
version of Great White.
The Mark Kendall, Brett Carlisle, Great White.
Okay.
So, not Jack Russell's Great White without Jack Russell.
Right.
So the Great White that gets credited for all the records.
Yeah.
But I think that if they shortened their set, I wasn't told, but I think they played about 12 to 14 songs, and then Queensryche came out and played their set, and I think they even cut theirs short a little bit.
They played 6 songs.
Who's that?
Slaughter.
5, right?
Well, they played 6 songs, but only 4 of them were theirs.
Yeah, they played. I know one cover. Played a Van Halen cover.
Yeah, they played "Ain't Talking About Love."
Right, and I don't know what that was about, but I mean, if you're getting your cut short a little bit, wouldn't you want to play your stuff?
I mean, you would think, but I mean, they opened with "Mad About You," and then they played "Spin My Life," and then they played the Immigrant Song.
I can't imagine.
No. Followed by "Fly to the Angels," "Up All Night," and then "Ain't Talking About Love." I've not looked at any of the other set lists to know if that's like the norm, but yeah. Great White played 8.
Okay, so they had a 14-song set list. I know that.
Wow.
And so they cut theirs down, and then they don't even have the set list up for Queensryche.
No. Did they play?
Yeah, they played, and I was told basically they hit. They got the hits out.
Okay.
Instead of because their original set list was surprisingly intermingled with older stuff. They played stuff from the first record, quite a bit from the second, and of course Mindcrime and Empire, and then the new stuff that Todd La Torre does. But I think they cut it down to just the stuff everyone knew.
Yeah, like the show that they played, I think 6 days before that was a 13-song set.
Okay.
You know, with some things in there that you wouldn't normally expect to hear, like, you know, Knight Rider. You may not expect to hear that
song too.
Yeah, they played Knight Rider, Walk in the Shadows, and then it starts taking off into, you know, the hits, the ones that people know, starting, you know, Jet City Woman, Operation Mindcrime, Empire, Silent Lucidity, so on and so forth, until they finished with Eyes of a Stranger, which is a great song to end with.
Yeah, but look how different it is. Screaming in Digital,
right,
is on this set list. That's a bit of an obscure track.
Yeah,
I kind of like it. And so I didn't get a real good idea, except that they were good, and everyone was exhausted when they left, because the ones that stayed anyway, because they were leaving in droves, you know, because they couldn't figure out when they were starting this show at.
Right. Oh, so at least the seats were good.
They were, well, yeah, and that was the thing. They were letting everyone move up if they wanted to, but guess who didn't move up?
Give me a few minutes, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, my daughter and her fiance did not move up. They were comfortable right where they were. They weren't moving. So
we've been there. It's not a bad place. It's not a bad place to be able to see anything at all.
No, and she was. We were in the VIP section, and she was on that lawn section. So the difference was, it wasn't that big of a difference, especially the video she showed me.
Nice.
I gave her advice on what to eat.
Perfect.
You know, because the food there's great.
Yeah. I mean, who would have thought you'd go to a concert for the food?
No kidding. It's really good.
That's one of the best places. If you haven't been, definitely check out the Mill in Terre Haute. Pull them up. They've always got some good shows going. Trying to bring in more and more good artists, bigger artists. This is where we were able to see Jack Russell's Great White and, of course, Firehouse before the untimely deaths of both of those lead singers. And Nelson Camp. I know. I wasn't going to say it, but yep. No.
Wow.
Yeah. Moving right along.
But I didn't mean to interrupt your announcement of the Garage Mahal and the internet.
Oh, that's it. That's all it was. It has Wi-Fi. So there may be a change of venue for the podcast. I may have to go out there and start doing it.
Well, funny you say that, because I may be moving as well. So
outstanding. Is this the whole family or just you?
Just me.
Excellent.
We got some rearranging going on around here. I'll have to tell you about later.
Oh, excellent. And by later, that means off the air.
Right.
That's what I love.
When we're testing the mic.
You got it. I hope it turns green while we're doing this.
Not yet.
Well, no, you've had it plugged in for 6 minutes.
It's this big.
Right, but it's got this much power. See?
It's a teeny tiny battery.
All right, I have to. Whoa!
You see, why are we praying for Tom? Did we curse Tom Keeper?
Oh, that's what he's doing. Okay, you know what? We shouldn't have even said anything, because immediately the Viper's going to jump in. It's like getting an RKO from nowhere. Good grief.
I was going to ask if you watched Raw, but that would just tune everyone out.
Yeah, everybody would just move on and not even listen anymore. So the answer is no, I did not.
Okay, good. I did not either.
Yeah,
I was busy
I did not. I did not watch it. I did not see Jey Uso win the IC title. I did not see any of that. What? What?
Are you kidding?
No. Yeet.
We have to stop talking about this, because I'm going to get excited.
Okay. Yep. Not saying a word. Speaking of tours and lead singers, this kind of brings me to a couple things I wanted to talk about tonight. Metallica, believe it or not, they're going on tour. I mean, I guess they should just say they're continuing their tour.
Yeah, continuation of what they're doing, right?
Yeah, they've recently announced a batch of 2025 North American tour dates, which is in fact extending their now M72 World Tour, literally a world tour. They've expanded it. The 2025 run will kick off on April 12th in Las Vegas and wrap up June 29th in Denver, Colorado. Looking at some of the dates, nowhere around here. But anyway, the cool thing is they've announced some supporting acts, and some of the stops will be supported by Pantera and Suicidal Tendencies. Very cool.
Right.
And other ones will be supported by Ice Nine Kills and Limp Bizkit. I like it. I like it. You snarled, but I like it. I don't know how familiar you personally are with Ice Nine Kills.
No, but they did shows already with them this last tour,
Yeah.
and we've talked about them on the show.
Yeah, I absolutely love them. If you're into horror movies and that type of genre, listen to Ice Nine Kills. Just it's good. It's worth it. But I think those are 4 bands that I can absolutely say, oh yeah, cool. They'll be out with Metallica. Limp Bizkit and Ice Nine Kills, sure. Suicidal and Pantera, cool. What's the correlation between Metallica and Suicidal Tendencies?
What is it?
Rob Trujillo.
I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah. Which may lend, a little bit of extra fun. Who knows? This lineup of Pantera, a lot of fans were, up in the air about whether or not it was going to be good because, it's the whole Pantera debacle. Are you yawning?
It's been rough, man. It's been rough.
We haven't done this for 2 weeks, and you're yawning.
I'm out of shape already.
Damn it.
Well, here's the problem. You know what time of year it is.
Yeah.
And you know what's happening outside right now as we speak.
Yeah.
The sun is going down.
Right.
And you wait. There'll be a day you leave your office at 4:00, and it'll be pitch dark.
Will there really, though?
Yes.
I mean,
yes,
will there?
You'll make it that far.
Okay, that's fair enough. Anyway, going to be a big tour, or continuation of a tour. Cool bands. That'll be worth seeing. Another one that I'm kind of stoked about, even though none of the dates released so far have been anything in the United States. But Iron Maiden has announced a 50th, this blows my mind, 50th anniversary world tour.
Wow. Have they 50. Been around that long? Long?
No, they've not been around that long. They're just going to do the 50th tour for people that yawn.
And just get it out of the way.
This tour marks 50 years since bassist Steve Harris founded the band, which, was Christmas Day of 1975. They'll be playing a special set which spans the first 9 albums, 1980's Iron Maiden through 1992's Fear of the Dark. Gonna be awesome. The cool thing that I was reading was the openers, and they're gonna have the Raven Age, which I've not listened to, Avatar, which is pretty cool, and Hailstorm.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So 4 bands on that night, whatever. I'm assuming that they're all going to play unless they're going to split it up, the way the Metallica list was. That tour is kicking off on May 27th of 2025 in Budapest, Hungary. And then it's kicking around all over Europe. I mean, bouncing all over it. And finally finishing in Europe on August 2nd in Warsaw, Poland. Again, none of those dates are over here, but maybe that means that we'll get them on the 2026 side. because I do believe that this tour is supposed to take place from 2025 and into 26. So I would say 25 Europe, 26 US, 27 Antarctica.
These are starting to feel like mini festivals.
Totally.
You know, especially the Metallica one, because Metallica is dividing it up over 3 days, maybe 4 even. I think some of them 4 days on this upcoming run. So it feels like a little mini festival.
Yeah.
You know, and they split it up, and there's a different band and a different set list, and who knows what Iron Maiden will do? They never play anything typical anyway.
Right.
You know, their set list is always different. But having Hailstorm on that, that's really cool. I like that.
So running down
a dream.
Running down the dream. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, running down all these dates. I'm not finding one where all 3 bands are supporting. It looks like the majority of the dates through June have Hailstorm. And then there's some with just Hailstorm and the Raven Age. And then starting July 5th in Spain, that is going to be Avatar alone. So they are splitting it up. But still, could you imagine the whole thing with all those bands? I mean, for me, I like Avatar. I love Hailstorm. I'm not familiar with the Raven Age, but still, if Iron Maiden's taking them out, surely they're good.
Right. They've made some sort of impression, you know, and my goodness, these bands do not stop. Hailstorm is getting ready to release a record.
Right.
Not too far now. I know that. And they're also touring Canada with Evanescence here in the fall in just a week or two.
Yeah.
And it's like these bands all take a little break around Christmas anymore. And then just off and running again. And, you know, post-COVID has had a lot to do with that because they missed a lot of time on the road. And it's like everyone wants to make that back up.
Yeah, and fast. Metallica made it up like 2 years ago, but they're just not stopping.
Yeah, and they must be having a blast because there's no reason for them to keep going. They've already hit a lot of big arenas here in the States anyway.
Yeah, they've made enough money to solve any kind of monetary crisis that any small country has. Easily.
Yeah, so they must be just loving the fact that they can bring in these other bands and change it up and do something different every night.
Yeah.
Every night.
It is kind of funny if you think about Limp Bizkit opening for Metallica when they just had Corey Feldman opening for them. I don't know the connection, but whatever. I can tell you who's not going to be touring.
Who's not going to be touring?
Yeah, and there's actually a couple of them I want to mention that aren't going to be touring anymore. One of them is REO Speedwagon.
Right, I meant to send an article about that. And
yeah,
then we also got the Jane's Addiction.
Yeah, we'll get into that one in a minute because there's a lot to that. But REO Speedwagon, they're going to stop touring due to basically divorce. You know, the typical divorce reason of irreconcilable differences.
I saw that. It looked strange to see it, but I didn't even think about it because you see that so many times in a divorce. They didn't say musical differences because they're not putting out new music anyway.
No.
And for the record, I'm a huge REO Speedwagon fan. Huge.
Well, I will tell you that the decision to halt all their touring activities was apparently prompted by a disagreement over the return to the stage of Bruce Hall.
Right. So Bruce had back surgery
back in November.
right, and has been recovering from it and was getting ready to go back and join the group.
Yeah.
And something along the way happened between he and Kevin Cronin, lead singer of REO Speedwagon. And there's some speculation about why this is happening. But in the end, he's basically saying Bruce isn't ready to keep on touring. And Bruce says he's ready and you need to give me a shot and let me play.
Yeah, he's like, suck it. I'm ready to go.
Right. And they can't seem to come to some sort of agreement. And if you know the band, Neil Doughty, the keyboard player and a founding member, he left a few years ago. I think we talked about it on this podcast. It was just a couple of years ago, to retire from touring. And now there's speculation as to, did he really retire or was he pushed out?
Yeah.
Again, by, forces in that band other than Bruce Hall and Neil Doughty.
Other irreconcilable differences.
Yeah. So, now, having said they're not going to tour as REO Speedwagon, that's not going to stop Kevin Cronin.
No.
He'll. I don't know that he can do the Shed tour he likes to do every year, because and they draw. I mean, they really do draw even now.
Absolutely,
they do well. But he'll tour and do theaters or clubs or something. He'll do something. As for everyone else, probably not.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's so if you've got irreconcilable differences, then I think the fans should be able to vote in your divorce, whether who gets to keep touring and who doesn't.
Yeah, there's a huge contingent out there that would vote in favor of everyone but Kevin Cronin. I know that the internet's full of a lot of fan pages, for REO Speedwagon, and there's a lot of people not liking Kevin Cronin in the last since Rich Rath left in '89.
Right.
And a matter of fact, Bruce Hall's daughter posted a video to a Facebook fan page, speculating why her dad Bruce is not there.
Right.
And you can look that up on the Facebook stuff, but and all the speculation, I don't want to get into it here because I don't know the facts, but I just know I don't think this was a thing that Bruce wanted. Bruce wanted to come back.
I agree. One good thing, before we get into even further crazy stuff in the world of rock, there was one good piece of news, I guess, that came out. If you're a fan of Falling in Reverse, they have actually done something that no other rock or metal band has done so far in 2024.
Threw away the computers.
Let people in for free to their concerts. No, I don't want to start that. Falling Reversed have become the first rock and metal band to receive a gold RIAA certification for a new studio release in 2024, which is big.
They're the first ones?
Yeah, the first for 2024.
Oh, wow.
And if you think about where we're at, I mean, we're in September.
Right.
And
we're
this information was released 5 days ago. They're the first rock and metal band to get that certification so far.
What does that tell you? How music is consumed these days, and where we are with how we listen to music now. We're not, and of course how they correlate what's a gold record, how they tabulate it, I should say.
Right.
Because it's streams, it's airplay, it's physical copies, it's all these things, and we're just now hitting gold.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's just now, but I think they just got the certification. It was reported back on August 27th, which is a great date, by the way, that album Popular Monster actually tallied 722,000 album units. The certification arrived on September 17th, so that's 2 weeks later. And they're saying that this record has a genuine shot at cracking 1 million and reaching platinum. That's not too bad. This is the first time, I think, since 2 albums ago, I think. I could be completely wrong. No, it's the first album since their 2011 debut, the first one to reach gold status. And that was 2011. So you're talking, quite a few years. Hashtag math. 12 years. Did you freeze? Did you literally freeze on me? And now I'm taking you out. And then I'm going to try to bring you back in because you froze. And
yeah, bring me.
I got to bring you in like 15 times because it doesn't stop ringing.
I only hit it once.
Yeah, but it rang 18 times. And the funny thing is, you're still froze, and the look on your face is priceless.
I'm right here.
Yeah, but you were literally froze. And you're not even showing on my screen. I'm going to put you up. There you are. What gives?
Well, I don't know, but I was I split my screen on my tablet here.
Right.
So I can look at the comments on YouTube, and it wasn't playing. The show wasn't playing. So I thought, I want to get caught up.
Didn't push play.
So I hit play, and the next thing you know, I'm gone.
Yeah. You can only do one thing at a time, mister. And now the chat goes off. Oh, Viper.
I can't see it.
I always knew Ace was John Cena. Yeah. Shannon has made a very valid point in stating that you need new Wi-Fi.
Oh, like what?
Hey, I'll tell you something to do when we're done.
Okay.
Yeah, I have an idea because when I lived over in that neighborhood, I did this, and it worked like a charm. And right now I got to take eye boogers out of my eye because it just made it itch. Anyway, total different story. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Falling in reverse. Sold a bunch. Got a status. Looking to make another status. All right, moving on. The elephant in the room and Nat McFook has already brought this up. And that is the unreal incident and I don't even know what you want to call this, the saga of Jane's addiction. Not making light of this whatsoever. But for those unfamiliar, big thing going on last week, frontman Perry Farrell. This is the first tour in quite a while that had the original line.
Yeah, it's been a while, right?
Yeah. And before they got caught stealing, they're playing and for whatever reason, which we'll get into a little bit more, Perry Farrell was just kind of acting a little bit weird. And next thing we know, he is literally taking a swing at guitarist Dave Navarro on stage. Stopped the show, ended up pulling Perry backstage. The crew did. Dave Navarro's like, what the freak? What the heck's going on?
Right.
Ended up canceling the tour. All kinds of stuff. And there's been a lot of stuff going on, there must have been some kind of, internal crap going on, blah, blah, blah. Well, in reading things about Perry, and I don't know what you've read or looked at, but Perry's a pretty laid back guy. Doesn't get excited. Gets excited on stage because, you're performing. You're doing what you love. You're doing your thing. It come out just a few days ago. Actually, this is an article from yesterday. Perry's wife has came out and has given an update on Perry's health and assuring everyone that he will recover. I'm not going to go into all of this, but just kind of to put it in perspective, he's going through some stuff mentally. I don't know if it was, the pressure of the tour. It's not my business. It's nobody's business. Other than we just know he was going through some stuff. He's going to be talking to a neurologist and also I'm going to try to say this, an otolaryngologist. Otolaryngologist.
Okay.
Otolaryngologist. I don't know.
You did,
Something to
you
do
did,
with
you did it right.
diseases of like the throat and something. I looked it up, but it was too much to try to pronounce. But anyway, his wife puts out a statement saying, we appreciate the beautiful words, the kind, loving support, the checking in over and over again to make sure we're all taken care of. Perry Farrell also released a message apologizing to fans, bandmates, especially Dave Navarro, family, friends for his actions during that show. He says, unfortunately, my breaking point resulted in inexcusable behavior, and I take full accountability for how I chose to handle the situation. Now, this isn't the first band to fight on stage. It's certainly not going to be the last to fight on stage. However, in the days of cell phones and everything, social media, everything's caught. Everything's recorded, everything's put on, and what's the first thing everybody does? They make assumptions.
Right.
So the assumption was there's a big rift between, Perry and Navarro and all this. And maybe there is, but again, they don't want to release that. So that's not what we're going to focus on.
Right.
The focus really is the mental health part of this. Mental health is a big thing that, has been going around the world of music a lot, and probably a lot more in about the past, I don't know, I'd say 5 to 10 years.
Right.
Bands putting out songs about mental health, just a big focus. And this is a band, Jane's Addiction, that's been around 14 years. Or, I mean, it's been longer. I'm sorry. They've been around longer than 14 years. This was the band's first tour with the classic members in 14 years. They've been around forever. And yeah, nobody's young anymore. And there's a good chance that this was, strictly a mental breakdown, something, pressures. We don't know what's going on in Homie's life. Either way,
right.
Obviously, we wish Perry Farrell a quick and easy recovery for him and, the fans of Jane Addiction and all that. The cool thing is that it's being recognized, by Farrell, by the fans, maybe people that jumped off the gun and were like, yeah, this sucks, blah, 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 blah. Take a step back and think about it. If there was a riff, maybe it's something more than just, your guitar was too loud or, your speakers weren't working, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Crazy thing about it, it was less than a week after their on-stage implosion and this hiatus that they released a new song. It's called True Love. How ironic. But yeah, and everybody's got their own take. A lot of bands had said some stuff, and one of which was one of our favorite bands to ever talk about, and it's Skid Row.
Right. They just came out with a statement kind of about all this, right?
Yeah. Scotty Hill, guitarist for Skid Row, said in a long discussed and often dismissed prospect of a reunion with Sebastian Bach, basically said that if they did that, it may end up with a Jane's Addiction fiasco.
So that that blows my mind. It blows my mind because when's the last time? 1996 that Bach has been in that band.
Yeah.
And these guys aren't mature enough. None of them to get on stage together.
I don't know.
There's that much that went on that behind the scenes that maybe we don't know about, or
could be. I mean, it gets to the point if they're going to continue talking about not doing this. Yeah, I don't want them to because I don't want to see that implosion. We've already had enough of an implosion when Sebastian freaking threw the shot glass into the crowd and then jumped in feet first. I don't want to see the same thing happen on stage, with Dave Sabo or Scotty Hill or anybody else for that matter.
Well, and the thing is, of course, we read this article from Loudwire about it, but on the other hand, Jane's Addiction, they're talking about a mental health issue, possibly.
Yeah.
Skid Row's not talking about mental health. They're talking about we just don't like this guy.
Yeah, just straight up anger.
Yeah, we just hate him or something. And it blows my mind that this many years have went by. It's like, no, we want nothing to do with him.
Hey, you know as well as I do that sometimes bridges that are burnt cannot be rebuilt. And without them going into these details that we know nothing about, maybe it's better that we just listen to them and say, you know what? Maybe it's better because I want to have the memories of the 1988 Skid Row.
Right.
Not the implosion, that happens because the fans pressured them into doing this.
Right. And this, for some reason, leads me to Poison because they've fought each other on stage.
Sure.
Was it Bret Michaels and CC DeVille?
Yeah.
Right. And and they get along. They say well enough now, but maybe some of that is why we're not seeing a tour. Because there's a lot of. It takes a lot to put these band dynamics together. We've talked about this.
Sure.
That one of the reasons bands sometimes last long is that the original members aren't even there because they're hiring sidemen, yes men, basically. I need you to play guitar and do what I say, and that's that.
Yeah.
Not songwriting credit, not tell me what you're going to do, not go off script, not jump into a crowd. Just stay back, play the guitar. That's what I need.
And this kind of reminds me of a Jason Newsted kind of thing. Unfortunately, he had to come into Metallica replacing Cliff. Mm-hmm. And we see what happened with Injustice for All.
Right.
We see that, he lasted however many years and then he was gone. It's a maturity level too. You got that one person that's gone or whatever and bringing them back or replacing, it just doesn't work. So, kudos to Scotty Hill and the rest of Skid Row for, I guess, sticking by their guns and not doing this reunion.
Because there's a lot of.
You and I both have said, maybe this is just a riff and they're going to announce this major tour next year or something like that. Right. I'm beginning to believe, and if we're wrong, then so be it. But I'm beginning to believe it's, no, it is not going to happen. Forget this.
Well, and we talked about like bands that could open for them.
Sure.
Or them opening for someone else. But I think we talked about Rat if they could get their act together. But there's another band that cannot function in the same space as each other. They just can't do it. And for whatever reason, they've not been the same since, I'm trying to think of the guitar player's name that passed. It escapes me. Robin Crosby. They've not been the same since. Yeah. And Stephen Pearcy, I think, is right now just content with singing Rat songs and doing the tour.
Yeah. Doing a solo gig.
Right. If you want to hear it, if you want to hear Rat, go see Stephen Pearcy. Same with Cinderella. If you want to see Cinderella,
go see Tom Kiefer. Yeah.
Because that's what you'll hear.
Exactly.
So sometimes it's not worth the mental health strain it puts on these guys to stay together. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. And we talk about, a lot of people deal with mental health in different ways. One of the ways that people deal with it is music. I'm a firm believer myself that, you're in a certain mood or whatever, listen to some music. Well, there was a study done recently that reveals the top 3 rock and metal bands on mental health playlists. This was a study that was done by Tebra, Tebra. I don't know how to pronounce it, whatever. They compiled a report and they titled it Healing Harmonies, Top Music for Mental Health. They surveyed over 1,000 individuals. Okay, so it's really kind of a very small survey. 1,000 individuals, 208 of which were medical professionals, and 793 were not. They analyzed more than 68,000 songs on Spotify to see which genres and artists appeared on mental health playlists the most. I'm assuming maybe it had to be named, My Head or My Mentalness or something like that for them to be able to grasp this playlist.
Yeah, and I have one. I have one on my Apple Music.
So do I.
Yeah.
Of the top 10 artists overall, only one rock artist made that ranking, and that's the Beatles.
Oh, wow.
However, rock itself was ranked the number one genre found on mental health playlists, and metal was 4.
Okay.
So this continues. We're going to get to actually naming some of these artists. The 3 rock artists found most frequently on mental health playlists, according to the study, were the Beatles, as I've already said.
Okay.
Pink Floyd. If
shocking.
If you've never laid in your room with lights going, listening to the wall, do it. It does something to your psyche. And Led Zeppelin. So the Beatles, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, in that order.
Okay.
A voice like Robert Plant, I totally get. Music like Pink Floyd, I totally get. The Beatles, I don't get it.
Probably because a lot of the stuff they put out prior to the White Album, that kind of thing, was pretty upbeat, happy.
Yeah.
Lighthearted.
So was the Brady Bunch. I'm just saying.
I know a lot of people that are still big Beatles fans, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that when they turn on Penny Lane, or something from Revolver, they don't have to think. It just cheers them right up, and it's happy music, and it brings them back to a different time.
Yeah. The 3 metal artists that showed up the most on these playlists were, in order, Black Sabbath, Metallica, and this one throws me a little bit, and Slipknot.
Okay. So what type of mental health are we talking about?
Oh, I don't think it matters, because honest to goodness, if you pulled mine up, the list that I have, you're going to find Sabbath and Metallica on it numerous times, because you got songs like One, Fade to Black, Master of Puppets. I mean, these are all just, getting in there.
Right. Okay,
I'm not big into Slipknot.
Now you're going to be aggressive, getting some of that anger out, right? And you crank up that loud, angry music.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yes. I don't know which Sabbath song would do that for me, but.
Yeah, me neither. I'm actually surprised that Sleep Token isn't on that list. But then again, it's a new, I don't want to say they're new, but maybe they just haven't made it to the mental health playlist yet.
Right.
But I think a band like that will.
Because there's a Pink Floyd feel to that, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like this generation's version of Pink Floyd. Absolutely. So they continue on with this whole thing. They have a top 10 artists. I'm not going to name all of them. I'm just going to go through some that kind of throw me for a loop. Number 9 was the Beatles. Number 6, 5, 4, 3. Number 3 was Billie Eilish. That does not throw me at all, because I've listened to some of her stuff.
Yeah.
And I got to say, I'm a fan. She does really, really good. Number 2, Drake.
Okay.
I don't know anything about him. I've never listened to his stuff. And number one in this was Melanie Martinez. I couldn't tell you who that was.
Who is that?
I don't know. So yeah, there's quite a few on here that I didn't recognize, but I am sure that someone younger than us would totally be like, "Oh yeah, it's blah 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 blah." Only thing I didn't see was P Diddy, but that's for another show. Anyway.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Melanie Martinez was on season 3 of The Voice.
Yeah,
and was signed by Records.
Who? By what records?
Atlantic Records.
Oh.
She would be a pop singer, I would believe. Yes, singer.
They do list the top 10 songs.
Go ahead.
Top 10 songs from this mental health playlist. Number 10, Yellow by Coldplay. Number 9, number 9, Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls.
Nice.
Number 8, never heard of. Number 7. Okay, number 8, the name of the group, band, duo, whatever it is TV Girl. The name of the song is Cigarettes Out the Window. Number 7 is Sweater Weather by The Neighborhood.
Okay.
I'm the TV Girl is once again back on the list at number 6 with a track called Not Allowed. Billie Eilish at number 4. What Was I Made For? I know that song. If you've ever heard it, go on TikTok. You'll hear it every other page. Number 3 is a song called Lovely by Billie Eilish again and Khaled. I'm going to say this is DJ Khaled. I don't know. Could be wrong. The number 1 song is by something or someone or some group called Lord Huron, and it's called The Night We Met. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not like super well versed in pop music, but you would think I would hear some of these, or know who some of these people are.
Nat McFook, a very good pick that she just threw in the chat. Creep by Radiohead.
Okay.
I think that's a good song. For me, it would be on that list.
I mentioned Sabbath, not knowing what I would put. I love Dio Sabbath.
Okay.
And there's a lot of stuff that Dio did with Sabbath I'd throw on a playlist for sure.
Right.
For sure.
Well,
because it's so aggressive sometimes.
Yeah, Mrs. TBT will understand when I say this, but I would totally put the Rolling Stones on that list.
Okay.
You think about, the obvious of just Mick Jagger. He's talking what he wants to talk about. It's sex, it's drugs, it's rock and roll.
He don't care what you say.
Living the life. And Rolling Stones should totally be on there. Digital Viper wanted to point out for sure that No Triumph was on that list.
It's on my list.
There you go. That's all that matters. And once again, in case I didn't mention it, P. Diddy was not on that list, but he's on some lists. Anyway.
I almost mentioned talking about P. Diddy tonight, but I just didn't know where we should go with that.
Let's wait till next week because I'm sure that more is going to come out of it. The only reason I'm afraid to mention too much is that it's going to end up getting political, and that scares the crap out of me.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, moving away from that. Anyway, mental health, it's a huge thing. You guys have your own lists. You have your own things that you go to. It's important. Stick with what works for you. Don't base anything off of what we've said as far as, what somebody else thinks should be your number one. If it makes you feel good, listen to it.
Sure.
If I'm having a bad day, I'm throwing on some Steel Panther and I'm going to feel pretty good within 30 minutes of listening to that and taking a blue pill. So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't take long for you to find that spot.
Yeah.
With the music you like to feel better. It doesn't take long. And by the time I get home, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. It's kind of like being out in the pool and chilling and, you got to have some music. As soon as I throw on some Van Hagar, I'm in the mood. I'm like, yeah, this is the life. It got me a cold beverage and it's all good. Somebody who's not been having a very good deal lately has been Journey. I don't know if you heard about this.
They've had a rough go with suing each other to death. And this whole deal with Arnel Pineda.
We've went a whole new direction.
As in
with Pineda, with this whole thing.
Well, yeah, this guy is now reacting to criticism of his vocal performance at one show, the Rock in Rio show.
Yeah.
Because the feedback online has been so bad. I found a video. I didn't think it was that bad at all, but I only watched a little bit of it. But yeah, he's devastated that, and he's acknowledging that it was a bad night, right?
Yes.
He's acknowledging. So I don't know what's going on. We talked about this a few years ago, even where he adjusted his ear monitors. They got a new sound guy, to work, and his vocals were right on track, right? But what I don't get is it's one night. Why is he getting so much backlash for having a bad night?
I don't know.
So even if it was that bad, was it that bad? I mean, I didn't think it was.
Yeah, so this is it's ridiculous that this is all going on. Do what?
Has he heard Vince Neil?
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. It's gotten so bad that he's even posted on social media that if enough fans, 1 million, if they tell him to leave, he'll get out of Journey forever.
Yeah,
what?
Who does that?
Yeah.
He had
You're asking for it.
Why did you just go all LA Knight on me?
Yeah. but he's asking for it.
Right. But now the article we looked up states that a lot of people are supportive, in lieu of this poll coming out that he's put out there. But, 1 million is a low number. That's a low number for someone like Journey. And there's enough jerks out there that would say yes anyway, just to see what would happen.
Absolutely.
But they're not letting him out of that band.
No. Neil Schon has stepped up to say, hey, you know what? He wasn't as bad as they thought, but it's not his fault. Neil Schon has decided to go ahead and blame everything on Avenged Sevenfold.
I saw that.
They sabotaged Journey's set by not allowing them, that's the key, allowing them to have control over their sound system. Hello, you're Journey.
Right. Right. I think Journey was ahead of Avenged Sevenfold even. Were they not?
I don't even know. I don't even know why it matters, but according to Neil, he said, we found out much later that we got extremely limited by Avenged Sevenfold. That means that hardly any sound can get out of the PA to the audience. It's a BS move, but despite that, check out the audience. They loved it. The rest of it's fabricated crap. We're talking about maybe a handful of people. Let's say it's 50 people that said that Homeboy sounded horrible. The Rock in Rio crowd is a lot more than just 50 people.
Right.
Maybe homie was having a mental health day and he was like, you know what? I did suck.
Well, yeah. And let's say, though, that Avenged Sevenfold did sabotage all of this. And they can't push out the sound they want to push out. That also tells me that maybe Arnel can't hear what he needs to hear.
Right.
You have to hear yourself to sing. And, is this just too much pressure? That's hitting him from being in Journey. We're talking one night.
Here's the thing, and you just hit the nail on the head. It was one show.
Right, one show.
Why are we judging everything that happened on one
show?
Who gives a crap what people say? I can go and say that Tom Kiefer sounded great, but then he didn't on 2 songs, so that means he sucks. or you know, I mean, you could say that with any band. I didn't like that song, and you know what? Now they suck. Come on,
Right.
don't worry about it.
I mean, we judge vocals, you and I do.
Yeah.
When we hear people, considering their age, considering the theater that we're in, you know, so many things factor into what we, you know, say was a good performance. Does Tom Keever sound like he did in 1986? No, he does not. But he put on a hell of a show, and it was great. You know, it's not going to be the same.
And Arnel is doing something that many people wish they could do, and that's go out and be a rock star and freaking lead Journey and sing their songs.
Right. And do you think that those Journey songs are even easy to sing?
Yeah. Has anybody listened to Steve Perry before?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I saw something the other day too, and I thought it was ridiculous. A YouTube video comparing them. Same song, we're comparing Perry to Arnel.
Right.
And basically trying to tell you who's better. I think that's pointless. I think that's just pointless.
Well, if he decides to quit after he has his million, then so be it. You've made your bed, now you lay in it. He can join me, and him and I can practice together.
You're singing?
No. You know what we've been practicing? What I've been practicing?
No.
All right.
You haven't told me. What?
I'm going to do this one time, okay? And one time only. I'm going to practice this. I want everybody else to hear it too. All right. I'm gonna get close to the mic. I hope I'm not. I'm gonna check my levels, make sure I'm not blowing anybody out of the water. I'm not. Okay. Are you ready for this, Ace?
I'm ready. I'm right here.
All right. Would you like fries with that?